Hello Twitter and hello Facebook. This is Rex Valakorum. I was teasing you yesterday with an article from the New York Times which proves how biased, not only biased, but how much they are lying in their uh, absolutely insane desire to blame everything on Trump. So again, they are not only misleading, but they are straight out lying. And the article I was referring to appeared in New York Times on June 16, last week, and it was written by a New York Times reporter. Her name is Caitlin Dickerson. I plan on later on today to try to contact her, and I will keep you updated. So, what is the article title? The youngest child separated from his family at the border was 4 months old. So this reporter goes to Romania and and she talks with this family. They are Romanian gypsies. Gypsies are the largest minority in Romania. So she talks with this family, mother and father. What happened? They illegally crossed the border coming into the U.S. from Mexico. They were apprehended, and their 4 month old baby, called, I believe, Constantine, was separated from his parents and sent to a foster family until the application for political asylum was resolved. Um, this child was in the care of a foster family for 5 months, and then finally the judge declared that the family didn't have enough reasons to be given political asylum in the US. So they returned the child and they were sent back home to Romania. Now, this reporter goes to Romania, and she is investigating what the story is, why what they were sent back, and she writes tear-jerking stories about how this father is so poor, how he went to Mexico and he tried to beg on the streets there, how he had to uh, uh, leave Romania because he was persecuted for being a gypsy, how he and his wife and their 5 children, they live in a 65 square meter pink little house which is derelict, how they are making a living by manufacturing brooms, um, and how his wife was forced by Romanian authorities to have sterilization procedures because she's a gypsy. Uh, how, I mean, uh, everything the guy and his wife are saying is basically a heartbreaking story, which this reporter Caitlin um, Caitlin Dickerson is um, basically portraying this couple as being destitute and persecuted in Romania, and their only chance of finding a better life and to run away from the persecution and the injustice they suffered in Romania was to go to Mexico, uh, cross the border illegally into the United States, and big bad Trump denied them the rightful claim for political asylum. This story, published by New York Times on June 16, was quoted by a bunch of other news outlets like The Hill, CNN, what else? MSNBC, and many other liberal news outlets, and millions and millions of people in the United States, they learn that Romanians basically are racist, and Trump is a racist too, and he sent this family, he separated this child, 4 months old child, from his family. He's he's stone-hearted, and he sent this family back to Romania, where they will probably be, persecuted again. Okay, well, as many of you know, I am an immigrant from Romania, and last night, yesterday, while in bed, I always read the American press and then Romanian press. I stumbled upon a report from the Romanian newspaper Libertatea. Libertatea means liberty in Romanian. It's not a conservative or a leftist. It's basically a straight down newspaper without any bias. And this newspaper read the article published by Caitlin Dickerson in the New York Times, and they came up with their own investigation in the Romanian family. So what they sent reporters to this village where this family lives. And they started digging in who they are, and what they are doing, and what their background is, and if their claims are valid or not. So what they learned basically is everything Caitlin Dickerson wrote, and every quote she put up in her article from the mother and the father of the baby. Basically, everything is either a lie, or it's a lie by omission. Okay, so let's start by saying these parents. The father name is Vasile Mutu, and the mother, her name is Florentina Pătru. They are unmarried, and they are the parents of 5 children. Number one, they are not fighting dire poverty. Dire poverty in Romania. This family is actually quite wealthy by Romanian standards, and I wouldn't say only by Romanian standards, but even by American standards, they are, I would say, at least middle upper class. So the reporter went and checked the financial records. They spoke with the mayor of the village. They spoke with the local policeman. They dug into the records, and what they found, they asked the neighbors of these people. And what they found out is this family is not poor. Instead of living in a small pink 65 square meter little house, which is derelict, they found another family living there, and they were the renters of the family in question. The family in question rent the little house that they claim that's where they crammed together 7 members of the family, and they actually live in the second house they own, not very far away from the first house, which is a 2-story high mansion. Okay. Another lie. They are not handcrafting brooms for a living. What they are doing is actually they are car dealers. They go to France, they go all over the Europe, they buy second-hand cars, they bring them to Romania and they sell them for a profit. And not any kind of car, but luxury cars like Audi, BMW, and Mercedes. Okay, so they are doing quite well. Besides the assets that they have, the many cars and the two houses, they also own. Okay, they also own a couple of thousand square meters, a couple of acres of land in that village. Okay, that's number one. They are actually, right now, they are back in France. They are back in France, they are not in Romania. In France, the father, Vasile Mutu, has two convictions for violent crimes. Okay, and recently, on January, fairly recent, in January 14, 2019, he was detained by police in the city of Râmnicu Vâlcea in Romania for 24 hours, then released on parole until March 14. He is investigated in a criminal case opened after a fight in a club in Râmnicu Vâlcea, a fight, get this, with axes. Okay, I mean, it's like in the Chinese movies with the triads. So he is investigated for this fight with axes. While holding this guy under the detention, he was also suspended his license for a concealed weapon issued to him in 2016. So he also had a license for a concealed weapon, and they canceled his license in 2016. Furthermore, the claim that the mother, Florentina Petru, she was forcefully sterilized by the Romanian authorities because in Romania, as they were claiming, the authorities are sterilizing gypsies, is an absolute lie. The Romanian reporters from Libertatea, they contact the doctor and they dug in the records of the hospital, and they get the patient chart, Florentina Petru's patient charts, and they publish a copy of it in which she writes with her own hand, "I solicit tubal ligation," which means she is requesting the sterilization procedure. This is written in her own hand on the patient chart and signed by her. Okay, the doctor is absolutely stunned at the claim that she's lying about this. He is absolutely stunned. It's just, I mean, this Caitlin from reporter from New York Times, she could have gone to the hospital and verified this claim. I mean, she basically is telling her readers that Romania in the year 2019 is basically like Hitler's Germany, 1944. Okay. Um, furthermore, and this is also unbelievable. These reporters from the Romanian newspaper Libertatea, they uh, call this guy, the father, Vasile Mutu. They get a hold of his phone number and they call him in France, and they are asking about his claim, and they are asking him about the article that appeared about his family in New York Times. And after they call him, they call the New York Times, the editorial manager or some other person at New York Times, and they are telling him, we are reporters from Romania, we did our digging, and mostly 99% of your article is fake news. And we even spoke with Mr. Mutu, and he is saying that you actually paid him for this article to tell his story, that you gave him money. The response of the person, of the editorial manager at New York Times, is, we never pay people to tell us stories. So what Mutu is claiming is false. So these guys are calling back Mr. Mutu, and they are telling him, hey, New York Times is denying that they gave you money. And the guy says, of course they did. How do you think my pictures is all over the news, in all websites on the internet, and on the front page of New York Times? They're lying. So it's just unbelievable to the what are the lengths that New York Times would go to smear President Trump. They are accusing Romania of being a Nazi state, sterilizing its minorities. They are accusing President Trump of and his administration of unjustifiably rejecting claims for asylum. They will not tell the public that actually this guy was his claim was rejected because first, he is not a poor person. Second, is not persecuted, and third, he is actually a convicted criminal, already twice in France for violence, and the third time right now he is under investigation and was released on bail in Romania for a fight with Axis. And actually he was released and he is now in France. He was not supposed to leave Romania's territory while he is under conditional release until his trial day. So this is all, guys. I will post the links to the New York Times articles and the Libertatea article refuting basically everything in New York Times. And I will post the link at the end of this video. Have a great watch. And oh, by the way, I will try today to contact New York Times. I got a couple of phone numbers. I'm trying to contact this reporter Caitlin at New York Times. I couldn't get a phone number for her. Is like the people of New York Times don't want to talk with anybody. And I mean, if I would be them publishing such lies, I would probably do the same. So until next time, have a great day. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and tweet and like this video, and have a great, wonderful day. Thank you.